right. Good evening, good people. This is how I be DJing. I'll be having that. Sometimes have my little cup up here so I can hear. Let me put it back right. What's going on, good people, man? Happy Monday. It is hot Atlanta live down here in Georgia. I think today the heat index was 107, and the fan is directly on your brother. Forehead shiny. It's gonna be one of them nights. But what's going on, good people? How things been going? Uh I cannot and will not complain. Things could be going better, and things. Turn up the mic. Check, check, 1 2. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me one time? Let me see. Check this out over here. All right. Hopefully that should do it. Let me know if not. But shout out to everybody in the chat already. The hater, Guerrilla Tactics, is in the building. And tonight's whole show theme is based upon Guerrilla Tactics comments on Discord. I said, man, what a wonderful topic to debate and discuss. But without any further ado, let me go ahead and give some shout outs. My man, Holly Pinky was first in the chat. You can't see her name. For some reason, I can't scroll all the way up. But Holly Pinky said, hey, everybody. My man, Dion is in the building. Said, what's up, gaming dad? What's going on, my brother? What's going on with you? Ivana's in the building. Says, hello, chat. Tormentor20 said, happy Monday. Dub City is in the building. Says, good morning, gaming dad. Good morning to you over in the wonderful city of I think you're over in the wonderful city of Sydney in Australia. And the hater Grand Guerrilla Tactics says, never said piracy should be legal. I only argue it was more justified, like borrowing a game or renting a game or buying a used game. We will explore We will explore this topic later on in the chat. But that's interesting take. Supersonic Saved by Graces. Hello, Gaming Dad. I would like to ask and understand something. I'm not understanding why Switch 2s are being bricked slash banned and how people are supposed to avoid being banned slash bricked. Are people trying to hack their consoles intentionally? Give themselves and get themselves in trouble. How many is this happening to? How else does this works? Oh, well, Greta Tactics, he has quite a vast range of knowledge on the situation. Does this happen to Xbox and PlayStation, on other consoles as well? Similar reasons. I don't know. Listen, to answer that question, that's a big mouthful of questions. I'm assuming piracy goes on probably everywhere, from PC to Xbox to at the history of piracy goes way back. Um, some of the stuff are getting banned for using I can't I won't say illegal, but Nintendo feels that they have the right, if you're using a third party accessory to play games that you might have downloaded legally, but you might not have. I don't know how Nintendo can judge if a person does or doesn't. But however, once they recognize you using this particular tool, which is the mix switch, they are banning your account. I don't know if I agree with Nintendo on this direction. I think they're overstepping quite a bit. But I understand why, because you got to look at the amount of money. Because everybody ain't honest. Everybody not downloading these. Everybody doesn't own these games or just downloading them and dumping them on. Everybody's not like that. People are using sites. Matter of fact, I would say at least 80 to 90% of them are using sites to download these particular games for free and then play them on their device. Now, that process is illegal. And so Nintendo has a right to somehow, some way protect their intellectual properties and also protect their shareholders. So I get why Nintendo is doing it, hands down. Do I believe in these situations Nintendo is really overstepping their power? Yes, almost like uh, Nintendo is doing this and then daring you to fight them in court because they know that everyone that's any individual or even small time business owner don't have the resources to fight Nintendo in court, and Nintendo knows that. That's why they're going a little harsh. So something has to happen because the process is illegal, and everyone is nowhere to control or to identify those who are illegally dumping their own games, have backups, compared to those who are out here illegally, at bootlegging these games. Let's see what else. I think Nintendo going a little far by bricking their systems. Oh man, that's to me. I think that's an overstep. If I paid you $500 for the system, um, you shouldn't have the right. You can ban me off your online services, but to physically disable my system because of that, I think they're in the wrong. And I think Nintendo is going to eventually open up a can of how can I say it? Well, I'll be nice. I think eventually Nintendo is going to open the floodgates to more hackers to say, okay, Nintendo, this is what we're doing. Then you know what? So be it. And they're going to come after Nintendo hard. Just in due time. Matter of fact, son, let me get you on board. Super Sonic. Saved by grace. Gotcha. What's going on, Steve? Steve is in the building. He says the AC at my job broke last Wednesday, and it finally got fixed today. It reached 92 degrees inside our office. Man, listen, we got the AC on blast. I even got another unit in the down here where me and Joseph is at, and it is still not helping. And it's dark outside. Well, it's almost dark. CMG in the building. What's going on, CMG? Get you on the board twice as nice. All right, got Steve on the board. CMG is on the board. All right. Let's see. But yeah, it's hot down here in Georgia, buddy. See, we are heading into a heat wave in New York. Boy, it's a heat wave all across this side of the country. I mean, our brother I took me a nice shower before the show. Like I had to, because I was sweating so much. It's not piracy that getting people banned. No, it's not. It's using a tool that allows you the ability to pirate Switch One games. That's what's getting people banned. CMG says I got into it maybe with someone about to make Switch on X. His name is Switch Tools. Steve says, I have a MIG switch and used it on my own games that I dumped with the dumping tool. I don't think Nintendo should ban your console or account for using your own dumps. Listen, I think the question is, how do Nintendo identify if you are using your own games? It's nowhere for them to recognize that. You know what? You can go to GameStop, buy a used game, and you know what? You can return that bad boy back in 7 days. So you can come home, dump that bad boy, and that bad boy is now yours. And it's no way around it. It's just too many loopholes where Nintendo can't identify if this is your game or not. I think if there was a way to identify yourself, then that's one thing. But you and I both know, like everybody knows, like everybody not dumping their own games. People are going out there to find games and say, "Hey, I'm not trying to pay. Run it." Played it on my illegal system. Um, you know what? To me, it's like piracy would be a. I can get behind piracy if the company does not provide a way for that game to be bought in today's market. So if I can't buy it physically right now, I should have that right. Now that's to me, that's legit. It's like, hey, buddy, listen, if you're gonna cut off my access to be able to enjoy this game, then you should give up the right of having that thing solo and having that ability to have that bad boy pirate it or download it. Make it available. I bet you more people if Nintendo brought back what you call that thing, the not the e shop, but the virtual console. They brought about virtual console, allow people to be able to buy those games, and that virtual console was to never go away. That's one thing, but once you take that away, once you take that game off that market, then you should. I mean, what do you expect us to do? What does Nintendo expect anybody to do? Do you think people are not going to give them an option to download the game? Like to me, like PS3, if you look at like Metal Gear Solid 4, you can't really go out and buy that game anywhere, let alone play it unless you got a PS3. Well, they don't give you the option, then to me that's where the companies don't have a leg to stand on. If you don't give consumers the options to play these games, if for some reason or another you don't supply the system anymore or an option for them to play those games, then you shouldn't complain. If you want that money, make it an option. It's not hard. Even the games they have on the Nintendo online store, to me, is still not enough because those games they're tied behind a paywall, and which makes it a little unfair. It doesn't make it like in a really option. I got to turn the fan up. I was like, yeah, leave. Well, I'm over here. I might have turned up. I might have turned it all the way. I got it like right on my back. It's like still sweating. It says, Steve says, I won't use it on my Switch 2 or my account because I know the risk and don't want a ban. Listen, I know that's right. CMG says, man, I feel you. Please don't use it on your Switch 2. Listen, that would be devastating. Steve says, I have a Switch OLED. I keep around for it. My Switch 2 will probably be mostly digital now because of stupid game key cards. Well, listen, we're gonna talk about that too. You know what? And I pretty much said it today with the game key cards. Like, hey, developers, you know what? Put the game on the card. You know what? Listen, especially if you're gonna make me listen, if you're gonna make me pay $70 for a game, if that game is not on the card, I'm not supporting it. I'm not supporting that. You know what? Unless it's like the Maddens, I'm going to support because I play those games. But anything else, nope. Nintendo's gonna get my money because you know what? The game is on the card. Oh, let me get you on board. Sounding like tails. Don't forget, good people. Listen, if you get a good chance, man, just step out real quick and hit that like button for your boy. I appreciate you. Your boy been trying. Listen, I've been trying to put a little bit more content out there. If I get a chance, man, check out some of my videos, man. I got another one dropping tomorrow morning. I'm hoping to have one. I might have two drop tomorrow. One for sure. Nothing big, no big time videos, but just a little. Hey, I was checking this out. I got some other reviews to do, so got a couple cases I got to review. So this is but yeah, back to those game cards, man. Listen, they need to be. If I'm paying this kind of money, even to me, even if I'm paying $60, the game needs to be on the game card. So you know what? So now you make a decision. Like when I go to buy games now, I gotta say, well, is this game really worth having it digitally? Like I was okay with Street Fighter being digital. I said, all right, you know what? I'm cool with that because I know how I'm gonna get down with it. So, but everything else, I was like, yeah, man, Madden. Yeah, I bought it digitally because I wanted it early. So that was just like, what do I do? Sound like tells us as well that they might not even know/realize they are violating. Yeah, I mean, it's true. He said, is it justified what Nintendo is doing? Let me scroll this back down. Said, is it justified what Nintendo is doing? Are they really this? Is it really this many people trying to cheat the system? I think it's enough, man. I think you know what. I think we're in an era where Nintendo is getting everybody for old and new because I swear, like every Switch one major title was leaked online in some form or fashion. You know, it'd be those issues like they get somebody get the game early and then they immediately dump it and they put it online. Come on, man, that's crazy. And then people on top of that, they go and they download. So Nintendo had to do something. They couldn't just sit back and just continue to lose money. I can imagine how much money they've lost just over this Switch One era, the money they've lost from people just uploading their content that they worked hard for and just putting out there for the internet to buy for not even buy but to download for free. If the shoe was reversed, man, if you guys owned the company, you'd be pissed too. Nowhere around that. It says, what about the average person? Nothing to worry about. Or are things they need to be wary of? You know what? I think anytime you buy a game from not an official retailer, you know what? I think you probably should be worried. But if you don't pirate games, if you don't see any enjoyment or any reason for doing it, no, you don't got no problems. You be great. You be solid. This only affects those who know it that take advantage of downloads and knowing they didn't pay for it and they got the ROM. They're like, all right, forget it. I got it. So let me play it. Good Tactic says, when hacking another console like PlayStation or Sony, they ban you from the online play. That being said, you keep a console offline because firmware updates patch the hacking exploit. Yeah, see, and that's how it should be across the board. And this is the issue I have with Nintendo of just banning people and breaking their system. I don't believe in that. I think that's wrong. I think Nintendo is definitely overstepping their boundaries. Um, I believe something had to be done. I don't think it need to be that crucial. Um, but you know what? If this was Nintendo before the Switch, they wouldn't have made that decision. You know what? Now the Nintendo, this is what happens. Companies they get money to start making money, and then they get really bold in their decisions, and they get really coarse and harsh, and to the things they're doing. And so it's like this is gonna come back to backfire on Nintendo, I believe. Let's see. CMG says I got a whole video about that, but it's not for kids. Only Switch tools. Oh, you got a video for one cat. Oh, buddy. I gotta check this one out. This might be good. That's one thing about Player Essence that I used to like. I ain't gonna lie. When he would have his rants, when he would go in on people, buddy, it'd be funny because he would go all the way in. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this, CMG. Steve says, Nintendo will ban you if you are playing a game at the same time someone else is playing that same game because each cartridge has a unique certificate. Wow. Wow, that's if that's the case, man, that's to me that's a little kick me off. You don't gotta ban me though. Wow. Silent Uncle Tail says GameStop has a 7-day return policy. If you beat the game, you can return it. But how does that work now with those codes that you redeem instead of physical copies of games? So a game key card still holds its value because that code is unique to that game. So you can, in essence, sell like I can buy Street Fighter, I can play it for a little while, and I can give it to you. And then what's going to happen is you're going to do the same process. You're going to get the game, you're going to download it, and when you download, the game is going to recognize that that key card is synonymous to that game, that physical card, and it's going to allow you to play the game. So it don't even matter. So yeah, once you're done, once you sell the game back, you can't play it again. It's not like even though the game is on your system, you can't launch back in because the game doesn't recognize that particular key card. Crazy, right? The hater Gorilla Tactic says there's an easy way. Put the serial number on the back of each game card in the code. If you see the same game serial code on like 100 switches, it's clearly not legally purchased game. So okay, if it's not legally purchased, then what could Nintendo do? Nothing. Nothing. Not a thing. They can eventually, say do a task force or something, but they can eventually go out and sue, but they be suing millions of people. Like I said, man, I'm not in favor of what Nintendo's doing. I just understand like something has to happen. He said, I got my fan on right now. Man, it is cooking down here. Uh, Sure, I might listen. I might have turned these lights down. Hold on, good people. I just might have take myself up on that offer. Just a little bit. I had to come down just a little bit. What? I'm sorry. I had to cut the lights down. It was bright. I was like, shh. You mess around here. Gaming dad gonna be on this bad boy like sleep. So instead, Nintendo is raising prices of games a decade later. But everybody to a certain degree is raising prices on something. I don't think it's unfair to put that all on Nintendo. Like they're raising these prices, well, some games are getting raised prices. It started a domino effect. Everybody trying to get their little money in. However, you know what? Um, just because they raised their prices of their products still doesn't give us a right to bootleg their stuff. I think we all can agree to that. That is wrong. They do that already, but it is a unique certificate inside the cartridge. It's why so many people got banned for piracy on Switch 1 using the MIG switch. Wee. Greta said they are essentially a corporation running scalper prices. Well, you could look at. I guess you could look at it that way, or you could look at a company that has quality product. And you know what? I know people that pay what I've seen a Louis Vuitton purse that costs like $3,000. For what? For what reason? I don't know. It's a purse, but people pay it, and I hate that we are in this era where we are paying some outlandish prices, especially if you over there in Canada. I get your argument, but all of that, them prices in Canada is not all on, let's say Nintendo. CMG said they should be like Project Red. Yeah, listen, it is the reason why. Like what you support. Like it was easy to buy Cyberpunk. Put the game in it. The game came on and ran. That's the experience we have grown accustomed to with a Nintendo Switch and Nintendo products in general. Put the cartridge in, the bad boy runs. That's the experience we want. Hey, you companies out there that's got these games, optimize them. Ask Nintendo for some help. Figure out how to optimize them. Nintendo's continue to shrink their games. Y'all should too. I think you know what when we look at gaming sales, the article that says gaming sales are not doing very well, but you know what they're not doing very well because this some of y'all decisions. Like listen, if I'm gonna buy if I'm gonna buy a game key card, I'm not buying it. I might as well buy it digitally if I really want to play it. Now I see like I look at games like Split Fiction. Split Fiction, if that would have been on a cartridge, I probably would have picked it up. But the mere fact that it was a game key card, I was like, I don't think it's a game key card. I think it's just a code. I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. It's like, you know what? I was like, I'll pass on that for sure. Gorilla says, he's saying he's not supporting a game that isn't on the card as be bought the key card of Street Fighter 2 at launch. Yes, because I like the franchise. It's just like you're gonna make a decision, either way. Either you don't want the game or you do. It don't listen. At the end of the day, listen. It doesn't matter um, what you decide, but if you want something, you either gonna have to deal with the compromises or you don't deal with the compromises. I bought Street Fighter because I like the franchise. I liked it enough to say, well, it outweighed the options for me. Now, other games that I was on the seesaw on, I was like, well, buddy, you gotta. If, for instance, okay, if if CD Project Red would have came out and that would have been a game key card, I probably would have passed on it. I ain't gonna lie to you because it's like, hey, I like playing it, I enjoy it, but it wasn't like, oh my god, it wasn't like it didn't have the attention or pull of a Street Fighter for me. So if I had to pick between those two, and both those games were on game key cards, absolutely, I'd have picked Street Fighter over Cyberpunk. But the mere fact that the whole game was on the cartridge attracted me more to buy it from Street Fighter. The hater Guerrilla Tactics is always starting something. Just want to be starting something. CLG says Nintendo first party games isn't doing the game key card. Like, listen, cause they understand the community. Like, hey, if these are the options you want, these are the options you get. Now, if I'm Nintendo, I'm figuring out a way to get smaller cards for other developers, other indie developers, so they can have more of a say about what cards get to go out. I mean, I think it's smart for Nintendo to work those kind of deals out. Let's see. Steve says, "Yep, $95 for some Joy-Con twos, $35 for a power." That's that. Ooh, that you right. That $35 for power cord, $85 for a carrying case. Nintendo is charging some crazy prices. Yeah, because I wonder how much. Because even without the tariffs, um, the tariffs is the reason why some of them things are still mad expensive because where they are manufactured. Because like the tariffs with China are on pause, but it's still a 30% tariff that's active. You know what? You just don't got the 100+ percent tariff that's on pause for right now. So, but you still have a tariff that's active. So, Steve says, "I'm getting Nintendo's first party on physical cards for sure. I tried Donkey Kong at GameStop. Oh, it was fun. Oh, Steve, man, listen. Do you have any complaints? I want to check out Switch Force's video. He said he played it, but he said the game has a problem. I don't know. I wonder what he got to say about that. Ricardo, what's going on, man? Let me get you on the board, man. Got you on the board. Gorilla Tech says, my thing with Nintendo is that their rules are unclear. Okay, but that first statement, especially this generation, I totally agree. I think they fumbled the bag a lot on a lot of different situations, little fine things that to me is un Nintendo like, because usually things are pretty clear and laid out, and it just wasn't presented in that fashion this go around. With too many questions, too many things that should have been answered and put out there before people just kind of got the system and started to make all kind of mistakes. It's like I still can't get in and play Fortnite like I want to because I did something stupid, but I guess I linked it to a different account, and that's just it's a bunch of mess. So I have not been getting on Fortnite. Thank God my son was able to play his for me. Said, let's go back to that statement. It says, like if I hook up my AR glasses under the terms of the EULA, I could be banned. Though it's not piracy, I'm just trying to play games on glasses. Yeah, okay. If in that situation, I would have an issue. I mean, with that situation is like, yeah, everything you're saying is legit. Like, if I had a third party device that worked clear as day, it didn't have nothing to do with piracy, but it had everything to do with my experience. That shouldn't be an issue. But you're right. Under the EULA, you probably would be in a position where they could ban you, and that would suck. That would be like I'm totally in on Guerrilla Tactics side on this one here because that would be bold. That would be terrible. Steve says you can get banned for cheating in online games or doing something or on camera or chat that violates terms of service and ends up losing your digital games. Woo! It make you want to keep the camera off. Let me go ahead and turn the little thing. I had to turn the little thing. I don't want nothing being shown. It ain't supposed to be shown. Golly, boy. Yeah, you know what? That's to me as much as you want a champion for Nintendo. Like, you know what? I understand something has to be something has to happen, but man, they kind of went really, really hard, and I think that's going to backfire on them. I know one thing that Nintendo is going to have to solve sooner than later. They're going to have to figure out somehow, some way to present a cheaper, more affordable Switch 2 somehow, some way to these kids and these parents who are investing to their system. They're going to do something because you'll get a good. They'll have a good Christmas. I don't know how good of a Christmas if these prices stay the same. It will be for next year, unless they have a bunch of banging games. Steve said you should be worried about a used Switch 2 and also used Switch 1 games. If you buy a used game someone dumped and you both play the same game, you ooh that's oh man. Well, I tell you, if you buy a used game, and I know, and I bought a few used games. Um, man, that's deep. I bought a couple of used games over this little time period too. I would hate for something like that to happen. Oh, that's deep, man. It's like Nintendo's like little secret way of really eliminating GameStop. It says, if you're pirating games, you shouldn't be banned from anything. You shouldn't be banned from anything online. You're not cheating in games. Nintendo should be updating their firmware. But if you're pirating games, man, if you go out and download a game that you did not purchase legally, then you're illegal. You just gotta just say, hey, I'm a criminal at this stage, and I downloaded an illegal game. And then you gotta ride with that. You gotta just say, hey, you know what? You roll the dice. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If you out there, if that's what you do, man. By all means, that's what you do. But if you get caught in the shuffle, then you get caught in the shuffle. So it's like I said I'm trying to pirate a game, and Nintendo responds by saying, "Fine, we won't let you buy any digital games." What sense does that make? It doesn't make sense. It just makes it uncomfortable for you, or it makes you have to be straight pirated. Nintendo, I guess Nintendo is really saying to you, like, "Hey, man, if you're gonna buy our products, support our products. If you can't support our products, then you know what? We don't want you buying our products." It's like you like, hey, um, it doesn't make any sense. I guess for them, I understand the stand they're making. Nintendo was saying, listen, to the consumer, our brand is strong. We want to entertain you. We're just not going to allow you to come in and manipulate what we entertain. And I think at that standpoint, they got to be right. If you was a business owner, you know what, you had a design, you was doing something, and somebody took your intellectual properties and just started just giving it away for free, you'd be like, dang, man, what's going on with that? It's one of the issues the original we had. You know, piracy was was rampant on the Wii. CMG says working on it right now. I never got after anybody before. This is the first. So CMG, what did he say? He had to say something for you to say, listen, I'm about to get to do the whole video. CMG said, but a lot of his supporters went after me and insulted me. So now it has to be done. Ooh. New York. Hey, Geeky. Get Geeky on the board. I keep messing the name up. All right, I got a Geeky on the board. Hold off. I'm gonna tell that. There we go. That's the name I need. This says, so the code works multiple times, even if you gave the game code away. Yes, the game code is attached to the game. So if you give the game away for them to play, they can't just have the code. They got to have the cartridge, and then that gives you the access to be able to download the game. Something like this: any types of piracy is still stealing, manipulating a copy of the game. Making way around the ban are just you more knowingly doing wrong and trying to get away with it. Geeky's in the building. His son tells each physical game has a unique serial number on the back of it. ROMs come from physical games, not from digital. Thus, if you add a line of code with the serial number, you can track it. Yeah, but then it comes back to the point I was trying to make earlier. So if Nintendo did all that extra work, right? And then you know what? And if they went through and they tracked that person down, what's going to happen to them? What's going to really, really, really happen to them? They'll be Nintendo will be spending more money trying to track these people down. So they had to go. I understand. Like you can't sit here and say, "Well, I can't understand why Nintendo is taking these steps." When you're a company and you lost multi millions of dollars because people aren't everybody not honest. Everybody ain't Steve. Everybody not gonna take their own ROMs and download their ROMs as backups to be able to use, you know what, as they see fit. Everybody ain't honest. And people take them ROMs. Sometimes they sell those ROMs. Sometimes they give them away. And so all these potential sales of a property that we have invested and spent money on are now gone because of piracy. So we can't we can't sit here and say, well, Nintendo was wrong. I was like, well, I think Nintendo is going a little harsh, but as a business owner, I understand. I'm a photographer. You take a picture off my website and then take that picture and you use it in your ad to sell your jeans and never give me back no money for that. You stealing. You took my intellectual property, my talents. I took that picture of that particular situation. I might have paid that. I might have been a model that I paid for. I did all the investment. I bought the camera, took the picture. You took my thought, my creativity, and everything that I practiced to get to that point, and you took that and you used it without my permission, Without saying, hey, Dave, you know what? Listen, we want to use your picture. How much does it cost to license it out? You didn't do none of that due process. You went to my picture like, I'll forget you, and made millions off of it. Is that person wrong? No, that person, he did wrong. And on top of that, they gonna pay me my money. See, Nintendo could do that, but ain't no money to be made if I'm just using it and playing it. See, that's a different situation. So the confusion I'm having is knowing what counts as piracy or stealing. On how to know if, on a case by case basis, if someone was actually breaking the rules of, if they were innocent. I don't know how to perceive. So if I was to go onto the internet and I was to download a ROM that I did not pay for, I didn't pay for that game. It's not a ROM that I legally dumped onto my computer, but I went on the internet and retrieved that ROM, then that is piracy and that is legal. Now, if I took a game that I bought and I took that ROM and put that ROM onto the internet for others to download, that's illegal. You can pirate your own, you can download your own games. You can take your game, dump it, put it onto your mix switch or whatever you want. If you paid for the game, if you didn't pay for the game, then that is piracy. That's illegal. It says, it says, is game sharing piracy? Is sharing a physical game piracy? No, not. There are ways to share games, but when someone shares their game with me on the internet, everyone says it's wrong. Okay. Now, if okay, so Guerrilla Tactics is saying like, hey, I'm assuming I have a friend. He says, hey, Guerrilla Tactics, man, you want to borrow this game? All right, bet. I'm going to send you the code to this game that I dumped, and I'm going to share that game with you. That's a good question. And if he does that, then Guerrilla Tactics is saying that, hey, that's not really legal if it's my friend, right? But then Guerrilla Tactics is also probably saying, like, well, hey, if it's my game and I bought it, right, I should be able to share a copy of that game with a complete stranger if I want to. I think in essence, yeah. If you own the game, you should have every right to share with whoever you want to. Now, this is the question. This is why it becomes hard. And it becomes hard for even Nintendo to kind of really prove in a court is that if I share for everyone to have a copy of it, I'm sharing it with my friends. If I had a game and I shared it with everybody on this chat, am I right or wrong? I think I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong because if I would have bought the game, say if I bought the game and I only had one cartridge of that game, that means I can only share it with one other person. There's no way for me to share this game and play at the same time. There's no way. So if you share that game, that means in essence you are saying, I'm not playing the game anymore, but you can play it. That's game sharing. But to play the game and say, well, you know what? We both can play at the same time. Well, then that comes a little risky if it's not set up that way. All right. Remember Mario Kart 7 on the DS? You know what? If one person had a cartridge, then y'all all could play. That was dope. I love that. That was the way. But I didn't own a copy of the game. I couldn't go off and play other things. I could play multiplayer, and that's it. I couldn't leave the lobby and go do what I wanted to do in the game. I could be a part of the multiplayer. So it's a slippery slope, but I still think in essence, um, sharing a physical cartridge is one thing. When you can become digital and the ability to have multiple copies being shared, also becomes an issue if they all can play the game at the same time. Then we're not sharing anymore. We're just copying and giving it away. I won't ever buy a game key card. My compromise is buying the game physically or another on another platform or buying digitally on Steam, as Steam will be around longer than Switch to online services. And you have an excellent point there. It's the dilemma that you pick and say, you know what? I mean, it's some games that's on Steam that I can't play nowhere else. You know what? Shadow of Mordor. I'm so glad that it's on Steam and I'm able to play that game. And like I said, whenever I get into that mood where I just want to kill some orcs, I'm going. I have that option. Um, and I'm able to do family share with Steam, which is dope too. This is something that tells us what defines piracy. I thought piracy was someone hacking a copy of the game to either change its mechanics or simply get the game without having to buy it. I think both of those constitutes hacking in some form or fashion. I think you're both right. Or to simply get the game without having to buy it, virtual game share is allowed. Yeah, a virtual game is it's allowed if I am sharing the game, saying that hey, I'm not going to play the game right now. He says, henceforth, hence why it's morally justified. It's no, especially if the game is not being sold by the corporation. Okay, this was my statement early in the chat. Like I believe I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm saying Gaming Dad believes if you, the company, don't provide me an option to be able to play this game anymore, then there's a moral justification for that because the company took away my option to be able to play this game and don't and has not given me a clear option to replay it, then it should be pirated because the company took that ability away from me. Now, if the company has like I don't believe in pirating games, new games. Like I have a Nintendo Switch One, and then when Xenoblade came out, people was pirating. I don't believe in that. I think that's stealing because you have an option to go buy it if you really want to get it. Support the company, support the people that make the game. Now, if you take it away from me, like for instance, like Warhammer, not Warhammer, but Warhawk. Can't play that. No, I can't play that thing nowhere. But if I get a chance to bootleg it, I probably am. I probably need to look into that. The same thing with Metal Gear Solid 3. Excuse me, Metal Gear Solid 4. I can't play it anywhere. It's nowhere. It's nowhere. Thank God I had to use Game Store. I was able to buy it, and I have it on disc now on my PS3, and I'm playing it now currently. But if I can pirate that game and it ran well, I probably would because you can't buy it nowhere else. Sorry, Konami. Seriously, oh, that's Steve. I didn't know that. Yeah, Yes, that's Steve's. I didn't try to Donkey Kong Bonanza. Yes, Steve. I want to hear Steve's opinion about Donkey Kong Bonanza. Said, if I want to play Fire Emblem One, for example, Nintendo is not selling it. Thus, to play it, my options are buying it from a scalper or pirate. Either way, Nintendo gets no cash. They they'll ban me though. If you played on their systems, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the. I'm not saying it's right, but you know what? You're gonna find other ways. I don't think you looking to download anything and play it on a bootleg Switch anyway. You know, I think you probably looking forward to playing on a different device, and that's going to have to be those options. Um, and you're right, Nintendo probably would ban you for it. However, you know, I mean, it all depends on how bad you really want to play that game. So I don't think the price of the console is the issue. It is in line with other consoles. It's the fact that you'll buy 10 Nintendo games, you'll pay more than you did for the console. Yes, these are facts. Make the console expensive-ish. Make the software cheaper. You should never be placed in a situation where you buy a system but can't afford to play games on it. Woo wee. Listen, I'm just looking for that. I'm looking how Nintendo manages that the second wave. I'm not worried about this Christmas because it's gonna be the new toy. It's gonna be hot stuff, and between that and that Xbox, you know what? Xbox might sell some units this Christmas too. It's gonna be that second wave. Like, can Nintendo, can Mario convince enough people that hey, you know what? You need to get Mario on this Nintendo Switch too, but you're gonna pay $500 for it. I don't think that thought process of $500 has really got to the masses, has really got to these soccer moms who gonna be like, "Girl, my son wants a Nintendo. It's $500. I'm not bad." I can feel that backlash, and I really want to see how Nintendo navigates those waters. I can't say how they're gonna do it, but they're gonna do something. Son Hotel says, if piracy is simply changing a physical game into a digital game, then why are companies so against it? They're against it because if they change it to a physical game, I mean to a digital game, then they can share that digital code to anybody. Then you get 100 people. You get 100 people playing one copy of this game, right? So that's a hundred copies of that game at six. That's like $6,000. If the game costs $60, if 100 of people download that code, well, that's the company's lost $6,000 off that one game. But just imagine if that was 1,000 people. Well, then that's 60,000. Oh, if it was 100,000 people, well, that's six. You see what I'm saying? You see how it goes up exponentially. The hater Greta Tactic says, if you and I want to play a game, they want us both buying the game, not you buy the game and then allow me to borrow the game. Yeah, I think that's how it works. They want us to say, hey, you know what? If you want to play Mike Tyson's Punch Out, you had to have a copy at your crib. If I wanted to play Mike Tyson's Punch Out, I needed a copy. It is what it is. It's like you want to play you that's if for your business, you selling you in the video game selling business. So I mean, I'm not saying it's great, but I get it. So remember the $10 fee that was brought in to block the online aspect of used games in the PS3. Yeah, I should remember that. There is history of game companies being against you being able to share games. They don't. All the game companies, even though they sell their systems with GameStop, they all hate GameStop. Because once GameStop get that used game, they know they're getting hand over fist to resell it. Hand over GameStop getting hand over fist to resell it. If you're wondering, man, this is carrot, green apple, turmeric, ginger, and black pepper. Super good. A little spicy, but it's good. This is so if they can't make revenue off the games because it's being photocopied or pirated, used by more than one person, I can understand the company's side of this. But I don't know which camp to fit into. You know what? Listen, I'm even though it's against the consumer, I'm in favor of if you create something, then you should reap the benefit of that creation. If you produce something, you should have every right to make whatever money that you off that creation. And if you use that property or if you copy that property and you use it unwillingly without my permission, without paying for it, then you are in essence stealing. It's like if you own a store, man, and somebody go in there and they say, I'm gonna buy me a pair of these underwear. I'm just gonna use them for 5 minutes and bring it back to you. That's funny. Let's see. Nothing should happen to pirates. Pirates shouldn't be targeted in the world where used games are targeted and game sharing is a thing. It's hypocritical. Yeah, but you know what? You look at it like everything is like on the even lateral plane, and it's not. Like you and I both know people abuse those. If everybody was honest, you might have a point, but everybody ain't honest, and people have and are still are finding ways to make money off games that are not theirs. It says because it goes bad in both directions, hence more confusing on my end. I mean, listen, I'm a firm believer. If you want something, you go out, you buy it, you play it. If you can't go out and buy it and play it, then it ain't for you to buy. Then means you either have to one, wait, be patient, save your money, do it the right way, or you don't. You just miss out. You know what? I didn't get to play every game I wanted to play. CMG said Nintendo is definitely isn't messing around this generation. They are not. They are not. But you know what? I think they had to in the beginning just to kind of get that start. Because eventually, I believe this bad boy is going to get hacked, and this is going to be an aggressive push in that particular market. I just I pray for those companies who are ballsy enough to say, you know what, I'm gonna make a career out of doing whatever to that aids that market. I just feel what might not be the good look because Nintendo probably gonna come at you real hard. This is people who are selling ROM should be targeted as they are using someone else's work to make money. But most ROM sites are non-profit. See that to me that even makes it worse. It's like I'm just gonna give you. I'm not making no money. But I'm just gonna give you somebody else's property away for free. It's like it's no thought about the person who created the art, who took the time, who stayed up late, who made sure these things looked and were prepared a certain way. Those people, those companies who made the investments, it's like what? Oh, you the company, man. You make the investment, but is that still that's still wrong? Jack Black 12, what's going on, man? Let me get you on the board. This that's my whole point. It feels like these companies only issue with the piracy is that they aren't part of the A B transactions. But the question would be, shouldn't they be? Shouldn't they be? If I'm selling you apples off my apple tree on my land, I should be a part of every transaction, right? You should not have the right to come on to my land and steal my apples and eat the fruits of my land after I toured the land and paid the tax on it, right? That's like me saying, you know what, it's okay. I know I don't have no toilet out here, but I'm gonna come over and use the bathroom over at in Gorilla Tax's bushes. I mean, them bushes, though. I mean, listen, it's just pee. He says, yes, they were against used games until they were able to tie it into online subscriptions. Now, you can share games as long as you are on Xbox Live, PSN, Nintendo Online. These are facts. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the verse of the day. The verse of the day is brought by our big homie, Supersonic Saved by Grace. It says, and it comes out of the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31. It says, but those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar like high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Amen. 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 I pray today, man, that no matter what you got going on in your life, that you always remember that Christ is in control. God has the ultimate say so if yes or no. And a lot of us, man, we deal with things that we try to control, but I tell you, once you just get out of the way and sit back and you let God do what he going to do, it's going to be perfect every time. In the book of John, both in chapter, I believe, 14 and in chapter 16, God said it twice. He said, anything that you ask for in my son's name, I will do. He will do it. That's why it's important that you trust in the Lord. Are you really a follower of Jesus? That was the question posed to me today. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Charles Stanley, Dr. Charles Stanley. He used to be a pastor here in Atlanta. Got a big time In Touch ministry online and television. And it still comes on like clockwork. I challenge you, you know what I'm saying? If you want some good word, man, good love, Dr. Stanley. And today's message was, you know what? Are you a true follower of Jesus? And you know what? Some things you need to ask yourself on a daily basis. Like, man, are you praying to Him every day? Are you reading His Father's thoughts every day? Is God and Jesus, is they a part of your everyday experiences? Are you getting up in the morning and the first thing your feet touch the floor, you're saying, Lord, thank you? Because He didn't have to choose you to wake up, but instead He allowed you to get there. I'm telling you, man, listen, it's the one that's the team you on. That's the team you want to be on. All right, Silent Super says, so people want to own their games as consoles, but Nintendo doesn't want you to. And if you share a game you bought, Nintendo is missing out on a sale. It's, it's not that straight though. You know what? Sharing it between, like, for me to share the game with you, that's one thing. But to take the whole code, the data of the game, and you dump it and put it online for anyone to say click, download, and play, that's when it's wrong. Yeah, sorry it takes more than saying. Listen, that's all right, man. Jay Biggs in the building, man. What happened to Indiana, man? I was so mad. I did not see Game 7. I just saw them at the getting their trophies. Steve says Steam has a big advantage over Nintendo eShop. Games look and run better with new hardware. Switch One games don't always. That's true. Alan Wake and Lollipop Chainsaw look awful on Switch 2. Yeah, Alan Wake does look quite bad. Quite. I thought about listen. I thought about doing a video just on that game because it's bad. It's bad. What's going on, Dion? I got you earlier. You was early in the chat. Welcome back. Welcome back. JB says, yelling, I'm going to King of the Pirates every day. Sonic says, so Nintendo doesn't want you to use Switch 1 games on Switch 2? No. They don't want you to use the MIG Switch. The MIG Switch is a device that allows you to run your own ROMs onto its device so you can have multiple games on one cartridge. I believe I'm saying that right. Let's see. CMG said, I know you've been enjoying the Switch 2. How you liking the Switch 2? Okay, listen, that's a good little segue. You know what? I am really liking the Switch 2. I've been playing it a lot more in docked mode than I have been in handheld. Only because my TV is so nice. I do have a really nice LG OLED, and that bad boy is nice. And like Cyberpunk looks absolutely phenomenal on there. So that's where and Mario Kart looks outstanding on there. And I've been playing some Metro Prime Remastered, outstanding. So I have really been enjoying it. So I'm trying to understand how this all works. I'm getting some understanding, yet over complicating it. So I'm still confused in other aspects. That's all right, man. That's how we learn, man. We learn through a process of rehearsal. They can keep at it until it clicks. Steve says family is about to use for a Switch 2. Oh, they about to break them payments up into fours, huh? Greta Tech says, do you have an option to play Zelda Breath of the Wild if Nintendo raises the prices by $30 almost a decade after release, not including DLC? Zelda Breath of the Wild plus DLC costs over a quarter of the console price. Um, mm, no, it kind of depends if like I own the game and I'm an owner member, so I paid the $10. Matter of fact, I didn't have to pay anything. I got the upgrade. I own the DLC, so the upgrade applied to the DLC as well. So I didn't have to pay anything because I was an online member. It was a perk. People use banana for sandwiches. That's so funny. Klarna is it's like a payment system that allows you to be able to purchase things and break them down into payments. Steve said, I remember my parents used Finger Hut to make payments on N64 back in the day. I used to use Finger Hut too. It was way more expensive, but they let you pay it off on time. Yeah, I want like a almost like layaway. Can't beat that. JB says, first of all, I don't understand all these people Breath of the Wild if they already have it. If you do that, you have money to burn. You know what? Listen, that's true. That's the reason why I didn't want to rebuy it, even though I'm thinking about rebuying it later, like maybe like on the sale. But right now, I was like, man, no, I get the upgrade for free because I own the game, so I wasn't missing out on nothing. So, but people like the people are still buying that thing brand new. The whole, I think it's the whole issue of having the whole game on the cartridge. They have the 4K everything on the cartridge. No huss, no fuss. That's attractive. You know what? So this way, you don't have to worry about it. It's all on the cartridge. He says, JB, Mr. New York, except Switch wasn't sold in certain countries. It wasn't. True. He says, I believe India was one of those countries. Consoles would have to be imported to those countries due to tariffs. Yeah. Pasta in the building, man. What's going on, man? Welcome. Let's see. He said the consoles cost thousands in a country where people make on average of 200 a month. That is crazy, man. Now that is crazy. Quake 311 in the building. What's going on? Las Vegas. Good evening, my brother. Good evening. Greta Taylor says they already got the money off the original sale of the game. That's like saying that if you choose to sell your game collection, every publisher should get a cut of the original game sale profit. No, no, that's it, no, that's not true. I'm not saying. I'm saying that initial transaction. But if you take that game and then you multiply it to make more money off of it, or to multiply it just to give away, yeah, then that's piracy. You can't do that. You can't take a property that I have already created, make copies of it, and then freely give it away. Well, then people who do that are in essence really killing off the video game market because we can't really have nothing because game company can't make their money back because people want to take their game and pirate it and give it away to everybody else instead of saying, "Hey, man, this is a good game. Why don't you go and buy it?" Same thing with movies, CDs. Same thing. If buying isn't owning, meaning I can do whatever I want with the product I paid for, piracy isn't stealing. Either game prices need a drastic drop or consumer protection laws need to change. There was a time, man, where games like other systems were way more expensive. I'm not saying that these prices are justified because who am I to say how much it costs to employ people and the teams that are needed to make certain games? People make investments; they need their investment money back. I get it. You know what? You know what? People say this to me all the time as a photographer. All you doing is hitting a button. Oh, I can take these exact same pictures with my cell phone. That's what they say. All the time, man. I get it all the time. And they say, man, you're a little too expensive. I was like, well, man, you know what? My camera costs $7,000. That's not even with a lens on it. Oh, you want some. Oh, you want your pictures blown. Oh, so you want to put this nice 85 millimeter 1.4 that costs an additional $2,500. Okay, that's 900. That's 950 before taxes. you want the flash too, right? So you everybody want all these amenities. They want their picture to look certain ways, but they don't see what it took to get to this point to have the equipment to do the things that we needed to do. Like we don't see that cost that these companies have to endure. You know what? That's why certain games they like, you know what? They ain't doing very well because them games are so expensive to initially make. And if people pirate this, if they taking money away from the potential of having that game green lighted for another one. The latest Transformers movie, the last Transformers one, was really good. Really, it's a really good movie, but it didn't make enough for whatever reason. Didn't make enough. And so people now, you know what, that next movie might not get made because they ain't make enough. Everything has a domino effect. I'm just saying, like, hey, you know what? You're either gonna play the game or you're not. You're either gonna do it right or you're gonna do it wrong. The Bible says we will reap what we sow. If you download a game that you didn't own or buy, small as may be, the Bible sees a sin the same. No difference between murder, stealing, lying. They all say the same. Greater tactics, repent. You gotta repent. You gotta repent, my brother. Repent. So Sonic says, what is a MIG switch? Third party, like hack day one switch. A MIG switch. You gotta go look this one up. This is some of this supersonic knuckle tails. You might have to just, you know what, jump to the side real quick and hit the Google button. But MIG switch has been we talked about quite a few times on the channel. It's a cartridge that allows you to you to dump your other physical games onto this one particular cartridge, and then you can kind of like shift around, so you can have a bunch of games onto like one cartridge. It says MIG doesn't stand for anything. It's just the name of the specific cartridge that works on the Switch One, a cartridge that isn't sold by Nintendo. It says J Big says people are using the MIG switch to steal games. Say it again. So anyone using a MIG is doing something illegal. Not necessarily. Take Steve for instance. Steve has a MIG switch, but he has his own games that he has dumped. So this way he don't got to take around all his little games. He can put all his games onto one cartridge, and then he can put that one cartridge into his system and have access to his whole library. So yeah, there's advantages for it if you use it the right way. But everybody ain't using it the right way. So why would you have the same issues if you took your copy of Cyberpunk and shared it with 20 people in your family? Because Nintendo has a limit on how many people you can share. The game share has you can share it with one person in your family, and they can have that game for 15 days, and then it comes right back to me. It's a system in place. Now, if I had 20 people and if I had 20 copies of the game, that's one thing that I can share with 20 people, but I don't. I have one copy. And Nintendo said, all right, bet. You got one copy, you can share with somebody else without them purchasing it. But you can only have it for 2 weeks. There's rules in place. Imagine traveling and having your whole physical collection with you on one cartridge as opposed to needing to bring your whole collection with you on a trip. Yes, that's the MIG switch. It's not the consumer's job to worry about corporate finances. It is. That is false. Let me tell you why it's false. Because if you enjoy the fruits of the product in which you are consuming, then it is your responsibility to do your due diligence. Second of all, it is absolutely morally right to be considerate and not do evil. You can't make a argument for taking someone's property and saying, "Oh, you know what, man? Well, today it's not our problem." Yes, it is. It's a moral and integrity issue at that standpoint. Man, yes, it's absolutely. It's yes, it's absolutely our responsibility. He said, "Okay, I understand the mixers now. Thanks." A physical game, no, you can share it with as many people as you want. You can share a physical game with as many people, but you can only share that one physical game with one person at one time. Now, if I got 20 people, they all wait in line to play. Well, then that's absolutely fine. That's still that game is getting played one time by one person. If I own it physically, I can be able to because I bought it physically. I can be able to pass it to whoever I choose to. But the issue is when you say, "All right, and I got this digital, and I want to share it to everybody simultaneously." That's wrong. That is wrong. All right, listen, boy, we listen. That was a great conversation, man. Shout out to Guerrilla Tactics. You know, I was gonna pull the whole Discord up. I felt like he made valid points, and he made a lot of valid points tonight too. So that's why I love this channel. We all can agree to disagree. We're not always gonna line up the same way. We all different in some form or fashion, but we all got our right to our own opinion. So super dope. I love y'all. All right, let's see. Let me try to see if I can get to some of the summer news. Summer. Mama sama kumakusa. All right, let's see what we got. What we got. I try to keep these in order tonight. Hold on, let's see before I switch. So you're counting your own lost sales argument. How? Okay, to a point, I am countering it. That's you are correct. I am countering it, but you know what? You and I both know there is a difference. The likelihood, better yet, listen. You know what? For argument's sake, yes. But the likelihood I got 20 of my friends and they all gonna be patiently waiting for me to pass this game around is next to zero. Next to zero. But yes, to prove your point, yes, I am countering the argument. But the likelihood of that happening is next to zero. All right. Let's switch gears real quick. Man, come on. You see a brother down here sweating? If I can just maybe this is man, oh man, oh man. Let's see. Does this fix it? Nope. Curses. Let me see again. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna try to see if this works again. All right, there we go. God almighty. Uh, um, he said you just think is wrong because piracy allows people to play the same game at the same time. I think it's wrong. If you didn't buy the game, you shouldn't be playing it. If you didn't put the coins in, You can't be stealing it. Now, if there's no other way to buy the game, especially if you can go out to that and spend your hard-earned money and buy the game, then if you can't do that, then you wrong, bruh. You're wrong. You can't justify that. It's not a standard you can. It's not a standard that you should want to stand on. I think it's safe to say I win. Geeky and her mom would agree. Is Geeky mom on here? Geeky popped up on here. I don't think Geeky's mom is on here. Cause I think it's Discord. It got to be Discord. Cause I haven't done nothing. I haven't touched nothing, and it just stopped. Tell you, man, if it ain't one thing, it's another. I really think I need to just go ahead and get another cord. That's gonna be my mission after this stream. Let's see if it works again. All right. Hope this works. We hope it don't cut me off again, but if it does, oh well. Capcom spotlights announced next week. I'm not gonna give you a teaser trailer. We're gonna go through and just talk about what they plan on showing. Well, you know what? Why not? Let's see. Days. Pragmatic, but that game looks good. So what is the day? Is the 23rd. So you got the 24th, 23rd. That's Thursday. This Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. on the West Coast. I might stream that. I just might stream that. GT says I stand on that argument 10 toes down. So buying the game is fine. Game sharing with a friend is fine. But game sharing publicly is piracy. Absolutely. That's the issue. I think it's safe to say I win. I think I read that covered already. All right, so listen. Apart from Street Fighter Six, the other titles that will be featured in the spotlight include Monster Hunter Wilds, Resident Evil 9 or Requiem, and Pragmata. Pragmata looks so good. I'm really, really like, you know what? I have to say, like, I don't know the release date on that game, but I might that game come out to PS5. That probably be the next PS5 game I purchase. So that's this Thursday. I think that should be good. Okay, I'm not gonna read that. We of course we know about this random. CMG says I may still double dip for this game Street Fighter 6. You can get the regular base game on digitally for $40. If you want the DLC, then you pay the extra money. But yeah, Metro Prime 4, if you was over there and this over here in London, they probably just made a mistake. Which tells me that um everyone had a speculation of this might be in a shadow drop. I would think that would be super duper dope, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I do not see them shadow drop in Metro Prime 4. But as I'm paying back through Metro Prime 4, I mean, it's pretty fun. That's a Metro Prime 4 is pretty fun. I can only imagine. I mean, Metro Prime remaster is pretty fun. I can only imagine what 4 is going to be like. See, Sonic Knuckle Tail says, "Is piracy the only reason why Nintendo is bricking their consoles? What other reasons? You know what? Listen, I, I don't know. You know, and that's the reason why a lot of people, including myself, is against Nintendo's actions on that matter. I believe something needed to happen. I grant it, but I don't understand their reason of bricking their system because they're using a mixed switch. To me, they like you had to show me like what's the reason if I own all the games. But I wouldn't use that bad boy. He only breaking the Switch twos. I mean, how to ensure your console isn't bricked? Can you at least appeal Nintendo via email to ask if they can, if you can be unbricked, even if only one appeal allowed? I don't. There's nothing currently that says there is a policy in place for Nintendo to get past that. Don't know, buddy. Good questions, but I don't know. Like I said, so the whole base of our argument is really based upon this argument. I'm not based upon our argument, but based upon our discussion was based upon this article here. Nintendo's strict policy on mid carts is creating a problem for secondhand Switch buyers. So you got to be careful. This is I think to go to the question you was asking earlier, Solid Knuckle Tales, is that you know at you know what as the consumer do you need to be concerned with dealing with your Switch 2 is that, hey, you know what, you might be honestly making a decision. What's going on, Moet? Honestly making a decision to go out here and purchase something that is legit, and to have that um, be used against you because you bought it used is something that needs to be rectified. So you got to be really cautious when you buy used games now because you just don't know what you get into. It's like I would hate for them to ban my system and just say, then you got to go out there and prove it. Like then you might have to go buy another one because you know what you like playing your. Listen, man, that's a whole different can of worms that I would hate to have to get into. 4529. Low number tonight. 22 people on the wheels tonight. 22 people. All right. So be careful buying used games. That was a good point earlier, Steve. Too. Lies of P developer rewarded with Switch 2 console bonuses. This says Lies of P the result of the developer having already taken multiple stabs at the Souls-like genre. So it's impressive that Round 8 Studios have accomplished so much of its first attempt by fully embracing its dark take on Pinocchio's story. It set itself up apart from anything else available. Evaluating it above other games are quality combat and extensive, satisfying customizations, turning Lies of P to a first class experience from firm software fanatics. I really hope this game does come to Switch 2, to be honest. It's another game to have to get more people to play. What does secondhand Switch 2 mean? Secondhand Switch 2 mean is like, hey, if I sell my current Switch 2 back to GameStop or any other place and they turn around and sell that system to me, that is considered to be secondhand. Secondhand used market, same thing. Uh, I'm not gonna lie. I'm so excited. Listen, I'm so excited to play this game here, but you know what? I watched a video the other day and I'm going back and playing Marvel Alliance. I forgot how good that game was. I really forgot how good Marvel Alliance was on the Switch 1. And watching somebody play it on the Switch 2, it looks even better. I said, oh, buddy, I'm going back and replaying it because Marvel's Alliance was really good. CMG said Liza P on Switch 2 would be great. Yeah, I think it would be a good place on the Switch 2. If I sell my car, that's my second hand. Yeah, exactly. That's a used market. So many games, so little time. Yeah, that is a dilemma. I think I've always struggled with, but I'm enjoying my ride. I think after the stream tonight, I'm gonna play a little Mario Kart, and I'm gonna play some Metroid, and then I'm gonna go night night, get up early tomorrow. Oh, I gotta get my prayer and my read on. Then I'm gonna get up there early tomorrow and do it all over again. But I think this game is. I like beat 'em ups, and I just think playing this game here with, especially it has multiplayer with friends. It's gonna be super. Plus, I love Marvel games. X-Men too. All Captain America, Spider-Man, Venom. I'm waiting on the next X-Men 97. That's great. Especially if I can go through download other X-Men. Yeah, this is a day. This is a day one pickup for me. Yeah, listen, that game looks great. So, what do you have planned for this week in gaming 250? Just Dance, Big Wheel, extra Steam, Derrick. Listen, I don't know. I haven't figured it. I haven't got all the details planned out yet. I'll probably let you know closer to 250. So I want an old school X-Men game to come out for Switch. Yeah, man. Listen, speaking of comic books, man, I am really looking forward to seeing Superman. I like. Listen, I'm really looking forward to go checking Superman out. I saw Thunderbolts last night, and it was okay. I saw the setup, for the next movie. Okay, it's gonna be interesting. I think my favorite Fantastic Four. I think they come out next month too. So got a couple good movies to go see next month. But Thunderbolts was straight. I don't know if I would go to the movies and see it. I would definitely wait and catch it on video. You catch it on video, you good. You save some money. To go to the movie theaters to see it, it was okay. It wasn't like, oh my goodness. It was okay. I gotta watch Captain America. I don't know how good Captain America was. Said, did you ever finish Silent Hill 2? No. No, I did not. All right. Let's see. All right, we talked about this earlier too. Forget Switch 2 game key cards. Full on the card physical releases are what people want, says publishers Lost in Cult. It's the truth, man. I think it's a couple things. Like I wish Nintendo would have offered a Switch 2 with a better battery. I would have paid for it. I would have paid the extra money for it. This is the point I'm trying to make is that hey, if they offer if you're gonna charge me $70 or even $80, put the whole game on a card. Like Borderlands, if Borderlands comes through here and says, hey, you know what? We're gonna give you Borderlands 4, but we're not putting it on a cartridge, buddy. You can hang it up. And they charge them $80. I think they charge $80 for that game. Yeah, right. I'm like, man, get out of here with that. Get out of here. It says, so while game key cards have been rejected by many consumers, a recent leak gives a pretty solid reason why so many companies are embracing them. If you want to publish your game physically on Switch 2, you have to pay Nintendo for the 64 gigabyte card. See, there are no smaller options this time around, fortunately, as was for the Switch One. Okay, and this to me, I have an issue with this. Nintendo. Did this is say that there's no other options? There has to be an option. There has to be an option to have smaller. If Nintendo wanted it, it would have it. Would that would happen? That's my issue. If Nintendo wanted a smaller cart, which they should have at least 32 gigabyte for some of our indie developers. So I put this on Nintendo more than anything else. Mm-mm. Castlevania producer. And this is Castlevania the Netflix series. They acquired the rights to Duke Nukem, promised a no nonsense adaptation. Now I don't know if it's gonna be cartoon. I think it's gonna be cartoon wise because the same company that did um, Devil May Cry and did Castlevania on Netflix now owns the rights to do Nukem, so it should be in that same line of art artistic style. So it should be pretty good. So after turning Castlevania into one of Netflix's most acclaimed animated series and landed a second season for the upcoming Devil May Cry adaptation, Renegade producer Shankar has now set his sights on another epic piece of gaming history with Duke Nukem. In a recent interview with Esquire, Shankar casually dropped the news: "I bought the rights to Duke Nukem, not the game rights, but I bought it from Gearbox. So Gearbox owns the game rights, and now I'm assuming the television rights is now owned by this guy Shankar." Said no big studio fanfare, no corporate announcement, just classic Shankar style. Of course, Duke Nukem has had a rough ride trying to leap into Hollywood. Several failed attempts have been made over the years, but Shankar thinks he knows why it never worked and why it will now. Duke Nukem coming to Netflix. Be on the lookout. Donkey Kong Bonanza Nintendo Switch 2 file size now 8.5 gigabytes. They keep on shrinking that bad boy. I just Nintendo needs Nintendo should work with other companies to kind of get their cartridges smaller. They file size is smaller, more optimized for the Switch. It's a win-win for everybody around. The game was originally 10 gigabytes, now it's 8.5. How do you shrink a whole gig and a half of information? Only Nintendo can do it. Sega accidentally revealed 6 years of sales data for some games. Persona 5 Royal sold 7.25 million units total. That's really good, man. See, this goes back to one of the reasons why, hey, you know what? Pay for the games and invest into the companies that make the games that you like. If you do that, then you have an option where they can keep making games. So there's a good chance they're gonna this. Persona 6 is definitely gonna come because they sold so well. Sonic Frontiers is a good chance that the next Sonic Frontiers is on the horizon, and it could have sold 4.5 million units. I could do the math. That's a lot of money. Anytime you can sell over 1 million units, and every one of these games they're showing here has sold over 1 million units. Matter of fact, the majority of them sold over 2 million units, lifetime. GT says I bought 4 of those Persona 5 Royal copies. So that gives you the right. So listen, I bought 4 of them. I might as well get to pirate them bad boys. But that's good sales for Sega. I kind of, I kind of miss Sega. I kind of wish Sega was in the hardware deal. Not like cranking on your cartridge, your system. I'm going Sega, but that decision probably saved their company. All right, let's see. UK charts. There's no stopping Mario Kart on and Switch 2 rather. All right, let's see. I'm gonna do the top 15. Top 16 is down there. Number 1, Mario Kart World. Number 2, Cyberpunk was number 5 last week. Number 2 this week. It says, let's see, look at the breakdown. 61% of people that bought Cyberpunk bought it on PC. 24% bought it on Switch 2, 15% on PS5, and 1% on Xbox Series. Hogwarts Legacy had to be a sale. 40% on Switch, 35% on PS5, 2% on Switch 2. Let's see, 18%. I'm sorry, 18% on Switch 2, and 3% on Xbox Series. Good old Mario Kart 8, buddy. Even with the Switch 2 live and pumping, Mario Kart take the 4th spot. Dion says Gear, Halo, Red Dead 2. I want on Switch 2. You know what, man? Listen, we didn't even talk about the potential of a Nintendo Direct. Because the rumor has it that it's supposed to be next month, and I hope is that it's that second week of July. But because they need one, they need a partner direct. If to me, they can. That's some bull, man. It's got to be this cord, man. It keeps this slipping out. It clips in and then it comes right up. See, there we go. Steve said, I just want a Fire Emblem game on Switch 2. There's nothing for me to play right now. Might do another run at Fire Emblem Three Houses. You know what? I think whatever that next big direct, if not this one, the one in September, you're gonna hear Fire Emblem because they gotta really kind of set up that September direct. Kind of really sets up that next year. I think this direct here kind of answers some questions about what we need coming forward. That next direct is gonna be like, it's probably gonna be gigantic because they got to do something. They got to say something about Smash. Minecraft, Tillison, the probably the best IP Microsoft has bought. Minecraft. They've probably made their money back and then some. That they only paid $2 billion for it. I think they made all their money back, and they're playing with house money right now. Nothing else shocks me within that top 15 is that Animal Crossing is still selling. It's still charting. It's in your top 15. It sold more this round than Elden Ring. All right. Let's see. Let's see what else we got good to talk about. SpongeBob, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Avatar announces DLC for Sonic Racing crossover. Listen, they're gonna do something because I don't know. I don't know. It might be this game might sell well on PS5. I just don't see this bad boy selling very well on Switch 2 because nothing can compete with that. Mario Kart is too good. THQ Nordic holding digital showcase in August. Doesn't give a. I'll say okay, Memphis happening August 1st. This is the latest video game company to announce a showcase to present their latest slew of games at THQ Nordic. The company has announced that the THQ Nordic Digital Showcase 2025 will be happening on the 1st of August. This year's showcase will feature a feast of world premiere announcements and fresh updates on a variety of previous announced titles. Hopefully, this will be the perfect opportunity for THQ Nordic to reveal more about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. Yeah, I think it's about that time. I think the showcase will be really, really good for them. I think that game is really gonna be good. Red Dead 2 on the Switch 2 will be so good for this year. He said, if I want a Fire Emblem game on Switch 2, there is nothing. Okay, I read that already. He says, I'll go into saying Elder Scroll is the best RPG Microsoft bought. Oblivion, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 6 dropping before GTA 6? Maybe. Yeah. He said, but I just wonder did they make they get all their money back? I just think Minecraft, buddy, that thing is just evergreen. That thing is always selling. I think they bought it for a really good price. They got all their money back. I just don't know if they made their money back from from that sale. All right, bounce off of this story here. Let's see how long. Oh, this not this. This not the story I'm looking for. Mhm. What is the likelihood of Stellar Blade coming to the Switch 2? PS5 hit Stellar Blade is reportedly in consideration for Switch 2. This will be another game, man. If it runs good, it'll be a great opportunity. I think Elder Scrolls Online is making money for them. I know I own all the DLC anyhow. Best MMO with no monthly fee going. Lots of horses and armor though. when do you get to play all these games? So I'm all in for that Stellar Blade. I think yeah, I think that would be crazy dope if we got that game on the Switch. Nintendo Switch 2 launches July 3rd in Malaysia. God almighty. Could you imagine being over there like, dang, I gotta wait this long, just to get the system? But July 3rd, it's gonna set it off. Set it off. So Malaysia launches comes after Taiwan, scheduled for July 10th. Yikes. I wonder why they made them wait so long. A quick warning, Nintendo Switch 2 owners warn against using third-party chargers. I mean, on my days off, I also play every night at ungodly hours. Oh man, listen, I'm just not built like I used to be that guy when I was young, especially when I was like in my 20s, like mid to late 30, I mean mid to late 20s, even in my early 30s. I played all the time. But now, man, my wife then bought this really nice, super duper comfortable bed. I get in that bad boy. I go click, click, click. By the time I get into my first mission, I'm out of here. And then my wife cooked meatloaf tonight. What? I'm gonna eat that meatloaf and be like, it's time getting ready to break it down, boy. Getting ready to break it down. Y'all remember that Martin episode when he was that cop at that ATM? Oh man, listen, great TV. Getting ready to break it down, boy. Get ready. Oh man, listen, that was my episode. Yeah, I think that episode. I went to school the next day, and everybody, their mama was talking about that episode. So beware, man. This is based on their findings, assuming that the dock uses no power, the Nintendo Switch 2 dock, as well as some third party chargers, have 86% conversion efficiency, while one of the third party chargers that was tested had a 73% conversion efficiency. It was suggested that if a third party charger shows different conversion efficiencies, voltage and wattage readings from the Nintendo Switch 2 dock, the voltage regulator could end up failing and damaging the Nintendo Switch 2. Buddy, come on, man. See, this will go back to this is why I agree with Guerrilla Tactics comments from earlier. Is that Nintendo didn't do us a whole lot of things they didn't do right, man. There should be fail safes that we did not have to consider nor think about on the first Switch that we have to really pay attention to now. That should have been posted and announced to everybody out there in the beginning. So this way we ain't trying to figure it out right now. Dion says Martin, yes. Oh, listen, buddy. Martin, boy, listen, Martin, you can watch Martin right now and still die laughing. 8 games beat so far this year. Man, listen, I need to get on your regiment. My issue is that I like too much stuff, so I'm always jumping around. Like I got ADHD. It's hard to stay fixed in on one game, even though I've been pretty fixed on a couple games recently. But once again, it's like a couple of them. So I usually beat around 20 per year. Dang, you a G. Salutes to you. Though your year is mostly RPG, so it's like 50 hours per game. Not sure. Golly, man. Yeah, you say I salute you, boy. You got mad skills. So I'm thinking about buying Far Cry 6 season for $35 though. might add to the list of beat games this year. My son used to love Far Cry. I remember we bought him Far Cry. I think it might have been Far Cry 4 for Christmas one year. He was so happy. You ain't got no job, Tommy. Oh man. I love when we used to go in on Pam. That'd be my favorite. They don't make TV like that no more. They don't make TV like that no more. All right, let's see. Let me get off of these. So beware, man, but these third party chargers. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, listen, did y'all hear about this story here? Thieves stole almost 3,000 Nintendo Switch 2 consoles and a $1.4 million heist. Well, that's certainly one way to get your hands on Switch 2. No, it ain't. Because I bet money all these Nintendo Switch 2, boy, they gonna get flagged. Bro, man, on the fifth floor. Yo, what up? Yo, what up, Art? What up? What's going on, Martin? Brother was hungry. But this story is crazy because the guy who was driving the truck didn't know that they were stealing from him. I don't believe that. You on a truck, right? Them they still that many 3,200 2,800 of those bad boys. Is a semi truck noticed this week that 2,800 Nintendo Switch 2 consoles were missing from the back of the vehicle during inspection in Colorado. Man, listen, you trying to tell me, listen, you in on the take, buddy. You got to know. Pam was flyer than Genie. Listen, Pam, boy, Pam was thicker than a Snickers. I remember what I think one episode, man. I think he called Pam an atomic dog. The episode of Mark when he had the dog, when he had that fake dog. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Jay Biggs, I know RGT85 wants one of those Switch 2s. I know he did. Oh man, bro pulled in a truck stop. He had no clue what his cargo was, which is understandable. Golly. He said, well, I guess he said he didn't know that was in his authorities said the thieves stole several plates of Switch 2 consoles and that the total heist was worth 1.4 million in retail value. The driver said um, they were en route to a GameStop in Grapeville, Texas. Not no more. He says he said the thief was discovered in the town of Bennett. So Apperhole is it Apperhole County Sheriff's Office is taking the lead in the investigation. He said a public information officer with the office told CBS, though the investigation, if we were determined that it happened in a different location, will obviously work with the correction jurisdiction on this investigation. Yikes, man. People out here, listen, people out here for real. They like, listen, we gonna get it. All right, I'm gonna end on this story here, man. We talked about it a little bit here. Once again, man, listen. Third party publishers disappointed with Nintendo Switch 2 launch sales. It's your fault. It's your fault, man. Listen, if you put a game out there, you try to cut corners, man. That's what happens. It's like anything. Like I be trying to tell my son. Like you can't go out here expecting to get paid big money if you always trying to figure out ways to cut corners. Do it right. Do it right the first time. You know, like man, if the shoes reverse, man, these publishers know they want the game. We want the game on the cartridge. We want it legit. Like we want to be able to have it in our possession. And we don't want to have to, as soon as you get the game, if you got a key card, you know what you got to do? You got to download it. We don't want that. We want the game as is. So I'm going to leave this note to say, hey, you know what? It's your fault. Put the game on the cartridge and you won't have these issues. And you probably would have sold more. I was so mad at Split Fiction. I was like, what, man? Y'all know better. But I'm mad at Nintendo too. This ain't all their fault. This is Nintendo's fault too. Because if Nintendo would have did it right, we'd been all right too. Uh-oh. My wife must be hungry. He's sending me these food restaurants. All right. I just want to know where those consoles are going to be sold. They can't be sold on eBay. I'll be worried about working at a pawn shop when that crackhead comes in trying to sell a Switch 2 or multiple Switch 2s. So ain't that on Nintendo though? Like, if my game is 8 gigabytes, I'm not paying 32. Listen, you right. That's why I said it ain't quite all they fault. Like some games, like Split Fiction, should have been on a 64-bit game card. But like you said, Nintendo got to offer some smaller card sizes. I think they just trying to. I think that was a dumb move just to force the market to pay this price. Yeah. So you know what? Nintendo ain't like innocent in this, but they ain't all guilty either in certain situations. All right, good people. Listen, that'll be the final story of the night. We'll go ahead and get into our wheel time. Yes, 22 people on the wheel still. I'm gonna give you about 2 minutes. Anybody else want to jump over to Twitch? I am Gaming Dad 1906. Jump on in real quick. I can put you on the board. CMG says, so third parties are disappointed with their sales. See, they can't be cutting corners out here. I want the Switch 2 to be successful. Come on now. Exactly. You know what? I think I'm just not paying if I'm not paying full price for a key card. I might as well buy it digitally. And the same thing, the reason why, listen, Street Fighter got picked up is because I just like Street Fighter. Typically I probably wouldn't, but I was like, listen, that night, the excitement of having the system, I picked up Street Fighter. But typically, I would have bought it. I would have bought it digitally just as well. This so some of their reasonings is like, you know what? To me, Split Fiction is one of them games that I would like to have on a cartridge. Um, but I'm gonna catch it on sale. It's gonna like Split Fiction will be on sale this year. This holiday season for sure. Sheep. Not so good attack. It's on the board, ladies and gentlemen. All right, all right. I think if your boy Gaming Dad wins tonight, I'm giving mine to Steve M in the building. Matter of fact, no, we'll leave it as it. If I win, it's going to Steve M, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to my boy Steve. All right, good people. Without any further ado, you know how this go. I roll the wheel. You hear my boy Peter Griff, if I can get to his name. All right, without any further ado, we're going to get it started. Up in here. Who is our first loser of the night? It would be Steve M, wouldn't it? But Steve M, you're not out of here, buddy. Off the muscle. If they if they upset if they get upset by their sales, that means Nintendo fans aren't buying digital either. Nintendo fans aren't buying third party games, period. Probably because it costs so much um, compared to other platforms. I think that's partially true, but I think this is also a problem too. You know what? A lot of the games they chose to put out there, a lot of them wasn't like brand new games. Split Fiction was one, but you know what? Street Fighter's been on several other, it's been on other systems and been out a long time. Um, these kind of port like even though Cyberpunk, you know what? It helped that game. I think that game was third party. I mean, not third party, but Game Key Card. Excuse me, it wouldn't have been as successful as it is now. But a lot of the other games was like, you know what? This wasn't like super duper exciting games that you just had to have. So I think it was their choice of games. And don't get me wrong, Yakuza it looks like a pretty decent game. It's not my cup of tea, um, but how many other systems that game has been on? It's an old game, so you got a lot of these old games and nothing new and fresh. And you know what? People was like, well, you know what? That's what people was making them decisions. Like, well, it's not really a reason to get a Switch 2 now. They can make them kind of choices because unless you're a big Mario Kart fan, and Mario Kart is really, really good. Really, really good. All right. Who's up next to cast the flex? And it will be Holly Pinky is out of here. What does she say? Mm. Your boy Gaming Dad is out of here. Got the mic, Steve. Jay Big says, here is the issue. Switch came out June 5th. It is June 23rd. It has been less than 3 weeks. Exactly. There is more time. People will eventually say, all right, I'm tired of playing Mario Kart. I need something different. All I got to say is it's less than 2 months before Madden get here. Man, I wish college football was coming on the Switch too. Whew. I digress. Capcom says Switch 2 helped Street Fighter 2 hit 5 million units. Wee. Yeah, but you tend to make the majority of your sales during launch. If launch sales are low, that means that the price would need to drop and sales still aren't guaranteed. You know what? This was the issue Nintendo had with the 3DS. The 3DS had the same issues and they had to drop them prices. I don't think Nintendo's in that quite. They're not in that rut yet. I think we'll notice after your second and third month of sales. But Nintendo got time. And these other places, they got time too. It's just like, you know what? Even on Split Fiction, I'll come back to Split Fiction because I think that would be a pretty dope co-op game. But it's still like who's really jumping on the bridge to play it and then spend that type of money for it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our second loser tonight is Mr. Dion Freeman.
You lose.
Is out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that wheel spinning. Keep it spinning for the winning. Down to 19. Ooh, brother CMG, please exit left. CMG's off the board, ladies and gentlemen. But he's still there because he's a member of the channel. Channel. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is the hater gorilla Titans. All right, all right, all right. Let's see. Jay Big says most people were just going to get Mario Kart World anyway. Not everyone is beat 'em ups and buy every game. Yeah, it's true. I was like, you know what, Street Fighter was like I knew for sure Street Fighter, and I was really liked and really wanted to see how well Cyberpunk ran on this. I wanted to see it for myself, and now that I'm playing it, I'm really digging it. So it says it's early. Who really cares about something like Bravely Default 3DS game? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's like I think that some of the choice of games people that had. I think okay, a lot of this is still okay. I want to put some of this on a lot of this is on Nintendo because they should have had more dev kits out. I say Jerome in the house. I say Jerome in the house. Watch your mouth. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's see. Holding out for Bravely Default on PC since Bravely Default 2 is on PC. Now I know myself. I bought all the games I wanted at launch except Cyberpunk, and I will get that soon enough. Yeah, Cyberpunk, man. Listen, I was surprised how good it looks in dot mode. I haven't even played it in handheld mode, but in dot mode, man, I'm telling you that it was beautiful. I was like, man, this is a beautiful game to be on the Switch. How about that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Dang, it's the boy from New York. J Biggs is Audi 5000G. Keep that wheel spinning for the winning. Who's up next to catch the flex? And it will be Breaking Bad. I won it from last week. He is out of here. Black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, Good day, sir. K1 in the building. Say, yo, how's it going? What we talking about today, man? We've been all over here. We've been talking about pirating games and key cards, and we've just been all over the place, man. Good conversations tonight. Now we're talking about games that we should have got a game sales, and games we should have got a launch, and games we still gonna get things of that nature. CM, CMG Cyberpunk 2077 is an amazing. It is amazing. Like if you like, I played it on the Xbox Series X, and I was just like, man, it just to me it just looks better than that. I was just like, man, this game looks really really good. And I don't know, maybe it's my TV. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I need to pop it back into my Xbox and kind of compare it, but I just don't remember getting that level. Like my son was like stopped in his tracks, like, dang, daddy, what is this? This looks sweet. I'm like, yeah, it's Cyberpunk. All right, see, listen, we are what we got 15 left on the board. 15 left. Who gonna be that second loser tonight? Representing Ohio, Candy cuts it up. You lose. Is out of here, ladies and gentlemen. We keep that ball rolling and spinning for the winnings. All right, all right, all right. Up next to catch the flex, it will be Sonic Knuckle Tails. Get him the same one. You lose. It's out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Next one will be our special winner of the night. You know how we do our special winner is that one person that we believe should be the winner, but psych. Better luck next time. Slugheads. Moet 4529. Out of here. Keep that wheel spinning for the winner. Who's up next to catch the flex? And will be Super Sonic Save Bar Gate. Give him a little Donkey Kong. Never gets old. All right, we're down to 11 in the building. 11. Uh, my girl, a geeky chick, is out of here. Keep that wheel spinning for the winner. We're down to 10 for the win. 10 for the win. Up next, catch the flex is actually going to be Avant.
Very good. Very good. You know something?
No suit for you. Come back. 1 year. Next. All right, all right, all right. And then hit to the next person with the Donkey Kong. Get Tormentor 20, like you're going to get the Donkey Kong. used to hear that sound and be so mad. Had to go home and sit down somewhere. All right, we're down to our final 8, ladies and gentlemen. Final 8. Don't be late. Gorilla 2. What you know, no good. Good, good, good. What you know, no good. Good, good, good. What you know, no good. Good. Get wrecked, Kiki. Every time you say something about Kiki, you end up being the next one out of here. We're down to 7, the number of completion. Represent Las Vegas. Quake 311 is out of here. We're down to 6 in the mix. I have PTSD from that sound. Oh, man. Pasta.
You lose.
It's out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Said, get wrecked on the other world. Oh, man. That's so funny. All right, we're down to 5. Who's going to be left to be alive? Dub City representing Australia is out of here. All right, all right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listen, we're down to our final 4. Oh, man, it's too funny. All right. The big homie CMG is in the final 4, ladies and gentlemen. Not so guerrilla tactics. Ricardo and Jet Black 12 is in the final 4, but we got to break it down because there can only be 2 in the final round. Who's going to be left? Who's out of here first? Not so guerrilla tactics did not make the cut. All right, all right, all right. We're down for the final 3. Who's gonna be? Uh-oh. It's coming close. It's coming close. Jack Black 12 is out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're down to our final round. Look, the big homie back in the final round. Y'all give it up for CMG one time. CMG is in the final round, ladies and gentlemen. New to the final round. I think, Ricardo, you might have won before. I can't remember. CMG so funny. I mean, this thing with Grill Tax is so funny. CMG says, I might have a chance this time. Uh-oh. But we're gonna see down to be where's Nick Cannon? He been on vacation for a little while. He'll get back. Nick Cannon on the drums, please. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, tonight's winner will be who? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, represent New York in the building. New York. The big homie. CMG, ladies and gentlemen. Give us CMG, ladies and gentlemen. I got to get Ricardo off the board. Ricardo, you out of here. Kids, give him a CMG. CMG, the big homie. Hey, man, you know what to do, man. Shoot me that message on Discord and say, hey, give me that. Where my money? And I'll send you. Matter of fact, hold on. I got some cards over there. I'll get them over there. GG, no reason to CMG in the building. CMG, you know what? This is probably your first win in 2025 because, you know, you've been shooting blanks. Ladies and gentlemen, show my boy some love. And he says, oh, wow, CMG won and didn't even have to wait outside the GameStops. Congrats. East Coast, least coast. He said, I wasn't even in the raffle and I feel cheated still. Man, listen, y'all are the funniest. For real. The hater. That's so He said, East Coast, Least Coast. God almighty, man. Listen, you shooting shots, man. Can't do that to the home of Biggie. Boom, 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 boom. Biggie. But you know what? I ain't the killer, but don't push me. Revenge is like the sweetest joy next to getting picture packed, grass and loaded. Wise words being quoted. Bow down. Listen, shout out to Pac, man. Shout out to Pac. East side till I die. Listen, over here bang. We over here banging on wax. I ain't even in the country, but I rep the East Coast. Oh, look at that! Listen, I'm a Midwest guy, but I ain't gonna lie, man. Listen, my favorite rap song of all time is Biggie. One More Chance, but my favorite rapper of all time is Pac, no doubt, hands down. I won't deny it. I'm a straight rider. You don't wanna with me. Woo. Getting much mail in jail, telling me to kill it. Knowing when I get out, they gon' feel it. Witness the realest. But New York, man, New York. Listen, New York got Rakim. You got the R. Thinking of a master plan. And ain't nothing but sweat inside my hands, so I dig into my pocket all my money is spent. So I dig deeper and still coming up for Lent. So I start my mission, leave my residence, thinking, I'm gonna get some dead presidents. I need money. I used to be a stick up kid, but I think of all the devious things I did. Come on, man. Come on, man. You got the R. You got Wu Tang. Classes, man. Me. The East got too many of my favorite hip hop songs of all time, but Pac, nothing like him, buddy. NWA, Ice Cube was the Ice Cube writes the rhymes that I say. Man, listen, hit him up. Ooh, man, hit him. Oh, hit him up, boy. I don't think hit him up is better than no Vaseline. No Vaseline is to me better than hit. No Vaseline, man. It was a lyrical execution. Oh, against all odds. Ooh, set me up, wet me up. Heard the guns bust. Touch one of mine. I would destroy everything you touch. Play the game. All out warfare. Eye for eye. Last word to it. Why you lie? This is MOB. And believe me, we're enemies. We're going against all odds. Boy, listen. Boy, listen. You make you want to go. Against all odds make you want to go listen to it right now. It just Pac, you just felt every song that he wrote. You just like, oh man. Mm, mm. Jamaican Queens, shout out to 50. 50. Don't listen, that I Get Money remix with him and Luda. God, whew, that was in my heydays. When I was like, when I was DJing in the club, and I was in that bad boy hard. Those are the songs that and that you couldn't mess this out with Ti and Lil Jon, buddy. Boy, that was a good time, boy. That crunk juice, something different. Gyro is the best rapper in New York and deported. Boo, that's right. Listen, man. Boo, ooh. Boo, ooh. Good people, listen, man. This is your boy. Hey, man, let me pray. Let me pray. That's how the enemy here get you off on something that don't even mean nothing and forget your duties. Good people, listen, you get a chance, man. This bow your heads real quick. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you, Lord, for this wonderful day, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for wonderful friends, good people, good, genuine heart people, Lord, that you have brought me together with, Lord. I thank you, Lord, for them. I thank you, Lord, for their lives. Lord, I pray, Lord, that you bless them, Lord, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. I pray, Lord, that you bless their comings and their goings. I pray, Lord, that you bless them on their jobs, Lord, their relationship with their families and friends, Lord. I pray, Lord, that you bless their hearts, Lord. I pray, Lord, if anyone is listening today, Lord, who's unsure who you are, I pray, Lord, that they seek me out, Lord, and let me help guide them to who you are, Lord. I pray, Lord, that I'll be that vessel for them. I pray, Lord, that you introduce yourself to them, Lord, and however you see fit, Lord. I just want them to be able to have an opportunity to come to you. I thank you, Lord, for this wonderful opportunity, Lord, to be able to praise your holy name, Lord, and give you thanks. Just wanted to say thank you, Lord. We love you this wonderful evening, and I ask and pray, Lord, that you bless my family, Lord, that you keep a covering in your hands over us as we move forward. We thank you. We love you. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Good people, this is your boy Gabby Dad, man. Thank y'all for hanging out with me, man. He said Ja Rule needs to do another fire concert. Ja Rule Murder Rain, my favorite rap song. Oh no. Ja Rule is in so much pain right now, but he knows Ja Rule be lifted up. Holla, holla. See, man, it's stuff like that, man. It's stuff. He said, "Living it up, holla, holla." That's so funny, man. That's so funny. Amen to you, to my brother Dion. Good people, man. This is your boy. Gave me that, man. Let me get up out of here, man. I can stop sweating, man, because it's hot down here, and it's time to eat, man. My wife cooked me some meatloaf and potatoes, and so I'm gonna go up here and smash out. That's your favorite. Oh, your favorite. Murder Rain. Hey, I can't. I think one of my favorite New York rappers, man, it's got to be DMX, man, because that first DMX first album, man, was like, uh, Def Jam, Rough Riders. Look, it's all about Will Smith and Nick Cannon at these top rappers. Oh man, listen, that is so funny, man. He said, "Hold on, he said, Will Smith is the best rapper to never curse." It's a he's like Chris Rock. You know what? I ain't gonna lie, man. If you go back and lyrically listen to some of Will Smith's stuff, like you go back and listen to Brand New Funk and like um Summertime, lyrically, man, them albums was tough. I mean, but I can't look at Will Smith the same way, man, because you know what, man, I know like it's too much evidence that he's a doodle chaser. So I was like, man, I can't even look at him the same way. Like, it's like if that's what you got to do to get into the biz, man. Oh man, can't do it. Oh yeah, Warren G, man, Warren G, buddy. Listen, he's still getting paid off regulators. He said he's still making millions off of regulators. That's crazy. Yeah, that DMX buddy. You been eating long enough now. Stop being greedy. Keep it real, partner. Give to the needy. Boy, listen. Boy, listen. That and that Damien boy. Oh, Def Jam. That album right there. It's like, you know what? They don't make music like that no more. They when you got like when you bought an album, you just like, man, this whole thing is like, oh man, it was an experience. You don't get that. You don't get that feeling no more from music. You get little pockets, a little song here, a little song there, a little song there. That's it. But get a full album. The last full album I bought was Nas's King Disease 2. Classic. Busta Rhymes' last album, classic. Back to the bars, back to lyrical content. When you could tell these cats can read. I heard a dude on Facebook rapping. I don't know who the dude is. I know he a New York dude. I don't know if he got an album. I don't know. He was just freestyling in the car with what's that other rapper name? However, he was driving around the car. He kicking the freestyle. That dude said, instead of sexy red, let's make it sexy to be red. No, instead of sexy red, let's make it sexy to be well read. I was like, yes. This dude was dropping some bars. And cause I can't stand sexy red. I can't sexy red, the Cardi B's. I'm tired of all of them. I need somebody with some lyrical content. What these other rappers are talking about? This is Boo Boo Master. All right, I'm off that subject. This is your boy Gaming Dad. Let me get out here so I can get my eat on. Love y'all, man. Have a wonderful week, man. Got a new video dropping tomorrow. There's some gameplay of Metroid Prime Remastered, man. Check it out for me, man. Hit the like button, man. I dropped some other videos, man. If you get a chance, man, look through there for, and if you don't got time to watch them all, just go ahead and hit the like button for you. I appreciate it. This is your boy Gaming Dad, man, and I am Audi 5000G. Oh, excuse me. In the immortal words of Don Cornelius. Peace, love, and soul, good people. Now, I am Audi 5000G. Once I can find my. Oh, there it is. Boop. All right, good people. I'm out. Peace.